I'm Bernard Kelly, Australia's retirement strategist, and I run an online wealth creation consultancy practice. And I help people, just like you, with residential property investments to create wealth. But what I want to do today is just alert you to the concern I have that some people, well-meaning way they could be, some people might want to steal your future from you. I'm particularly thinking of accountants or solicitors or perhaps even the banking system. Accountants, of course, if you were to go to them and say, I'm thinking about doing a negatively geared investment property to create wealth, the accountant would likely to sit at his desk and work his numbers and then say with a long face, but you're going to make a loss. But of course what the accountant who sits at his desk worrying about figures all day long, he doesn't understand the big picture. And the big picture is, when you have an accountancy loss on your negative geared investment property, that means that the money that right now is sliding off to Canberra, that you've got no control on, when you do a negative geared investment property, you get your hands back on your own cash and you put it into your own investment properties. So, should an accountant ever say to you, you're going to lose a loss? You should say, exactly, that's what we want to do, because we want to get our money, we want to get our hands back on our own money and put it into our investment properties. Now, solicitors sometimes might say something similar as well. If you're showing them the paperwork, and they might say, oh, do you really want to do an investment property? 10 years ago, one of my clients had a very bad experience. Well, you know, if that's not a professional opinion, that's not a professional view, it's just an opinion. It's a solicitor doesn't know anything about the ideal tenant, or the ideal asset, or the ideal location, or the ideal packaging, or the ideal exit strategy, or the ideal asset manager. A solicitor has no knowledge of how to successfully do investment properties. So what you want to do, if you ever hear a solicitor say something gives you his opinion, her opinion, you may as well ask your next door neighbour for their opinion, or a taxi driver. It's really, they're just opinions. But more seriously, let's just think about the banks. Because today, the banks have told their employees, if someone goes if you go to the friendly bank on the corner and you walk in the door and say, I'd like to talk to somebody about borrowing some money against their other assets to do an investment property. Now the banks have told their employees, if ever they hear those words, they are to take you by the elbow, take you around the corner to see their in-house investment advisor. But of course that investment advisor, who works for the bank, they're not licensed to talk about real estate assets, property. That investment advisor is only talking about superannuation. And of course we all know that for the vast majority of us, superannuation will never deliver on the promise or the expectation. So there we are. I just wanted to mention to you those are three sort of typical scenarios. Accountants could talk you out of it, try to. A solicitor might happen to be, inadvertently steal your future from you, and definitely the banks. So what I'm saying is, if you do want to have a discussion any time of any of these matters, come through to me here I'm Bernard Kelly, and my email is admin@retirelaughing.com. Of course, go to our website, retirelaughing.com, send us an email from that side as well. Eventually we can get together, we can do something together perhaps, and eventually we'll be able to waltz off into the sunset together with the orchestra playing. Cheers for now, I'm Bernard Kelly.